She's going to win.
No, she's not.
She can win. They just want no Trump, no matter what, and they're willing to gaslight themselves.
But then, well, since I've made a thing of covering Joe Rogan, I think that I might as well cover what's happening in the news with Joe Rogan. So apparently, MSNBC decided to take some clips of Joe Rogan talking to Tulsi Gabbard, and they took some of the clips and made it sound like he was praising Kamala Harris, even though he, in some of the clips, was praising Kamala Harris. However, what they did was they took certain clips of him talking about Tulsi and then applied those to Kamala. So let's take a look at the controversy and see if it sticks.
So let's talk about this Joe Rogan MSNBC scandal. Because if you haven't seen, it has to do with comments that he made about Tulsi Gabbard and Kamala Harris on his podcast around a month ago. And that because, one, while talking about Tulsi, he said,
well, it just shows you that what they're looking for is not what they say they're looking for.
Yes.
Because she is a strong woman. She is a person who served overseas.
She's also a crazy person when it comes down to it. If you want to, like, Rogan isn't a fair analyst on this because realistically, he's friends with her. So obviously the bias is coming through. He also has something that he's invested in her at this point. Instead of looking at it from just the standpoint of she wouldn't stand a chance if she was going to be the presidential nominee. Like, what's he even pontificating on here? That Joe Biden should have picked Tulsi Gabbard, especially when she's been loyalist to Trump. She has been extremely critical of the Biden administration. So why? Why would they go out of their way to give her a position? And on top of it, why are you demanding that when you don't demand the same shit from the Republicans that you seem to just have so much adoration for? It's disgusting that you can't even see how that is just totally hypocritical, but please go on.
Twice. She in a medical unit, so she got to see people blown.
Oh, she's a doctor in the military, guys. Guess what? She could totally run the country.
By the war. She was a congresswoman for 8 years.
Yeah.
She is a person of color. She's everything you want.
Then two, a few minutes later, he starts talking about Kamala, saying,
she's going to win.
No, she's not.
She can win. They just want
no, she's not.
No Trump,
no
matter what, and they're willing to gaslight themselves.
But then three, Rogan called out MSNBC, saying that they posted a TikTok earlier this month that suggested that he said both of those remarks about Harris. And while that clip has since been removed, re-uploads show the edit as,
she's going to win.
No, she's not.
She can win. She is a strong woman. She is a person who served.
To be completely fair, this is fair game.
Overseas twice.
This is completely
in a
fair
medical
game.
unit. So she was a congresswoman for 8 years.
Yeah.
She is a person of color. She's everything you want. She's going to win.
No, she's not.
She can win. They just want no Trump, no matter what.
Right, MSNBC has got.
So wait, so that the last one was the revised clip, I'm assuming.
Gotten a ton of backlash for this. Right, people in the comments noting that half those remarks are about.
Of course it would be a, thin blue line flag. Like, are you guys going to turn into CNN on this one, where you're going to pretend that the people who are outraged about this are the center Americans instead of just, the POS Trumpers that are just going to jump on any of this, or, the Rogan heads who they're like primed to do that. They're so loaded with testosterone with nothing to do with it because they're not freaking Joe Rogan. As much as they want to pretend that they are, they're literally loaded up on Onnit products and freaking doing their little kettlebells, and then they're just, I have nowhere to let this rage out except at women online.
Tulsi Gabbard calling it liberal propaganda, saying that Joe Rogan should sue them over this, that this is nefarious editing.
Go ahead.
Tulsi even sharing the clip and writing. MSNBC is again exposed as a propaganda machine for the Democrat elite and how they will brazenly try to deceive the American people. And all of that leading to Joe talking about it himself on his...
Again. Let's put Tulsi under the microscope, shall we, and see exactly how many times she's done the exact same thing. But
his podcast this week,
they just deceptively edited the things that I was saying, took it completely out of context and made it seem like I was praising Kamala Harris and saying a bunch of things that aren't even true about her. Like I was talking about Tulsi Gabbard being a congresswoman for 8 years and about how she served overseas. That's not something Kamala Harris did. It's something Tulsi Gabbard did. I was just saying things about her.
Yes, and that was very stupid. I mean, I'm not going to stand up for MSNBC here. That was stupid.
And they put it out
Like-
there as a clip of
I'm not going to like pretend that you guys don't do the same shit though.
me praising Kamala Harris. But they don't care about the truth. They just
You don't either.
want
You don't either. You love confirmation bias. Look at what your guest just did. No, she won't. No, she won't.
narrative to get out there amongst enough people.
Now there, he also added that despite rumors that have been making the rounds online, he's not going to be suing MSNBC over this incident. And as far as that clip, it's been removed, and MSNBC ended up uploading a new video with a correction saying, "We have removed an earlier version
Oh, look at that. It's almost like they acted like a real news organization, issued a retraction, and then corrected it.
of this post that
Yes, it is. Let's put it this way. Somebody got fired today. Somebody definitely got fired today on the social media end of MSNBC. However, I think that's where it should pretty much end. After the correction, then what?
incorrectly implied Joe Rogan was talking more about Vice President Kamala Harris. He was referring to Tulsi Gabbard.
He was referring to Kamala Harris at the very beginning of the clip, saying she was going to win.
And in the new upload, they only included the quotes that were about Harris. But, with all this,
Yeah, so it's almost like they fixed the issue.
I gotta ask you, what are your thoughts here? Well, I
Well,
think no matter what, this is a very bad look. Are you in the camp that this is nefarious editing?
hey guys, how about I just ask you every time that you, like anytime I ask a question, I ask, what are your thoughts here? Leave a comment.
The intent is
Ew.
to mislead people, or
As much as I have to ask for likes and comments, the way he does it is always felt gross.
or do you think it was laziness and just bad work? And I ask that while also understanding, regardless of what your opinion there is, the impact is the same.
I mean, it is. Like, regardless, the idiots came out in droves, the Roganites or whatever the hell you call them, and they have every right to. This is giving them the ammunition, which it's kind of one of those, and I hate this because Democrats, Kamala Harris in general, like everybody on the left always has to play defense, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it because they don't know how to go on the attack for the other stuff. We just know how to whine about stuff and then just be like, oh, why doesn't anybody ask Donald Trump about his lies? How come nobody presses him on his lies? Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. Why don't we? It's kind of, a little ridiculous that we put like Kamala Harris under this microscope and we're just like, well, she hasn't done an interview and, a real interview. But then again, with the debate in Joe Biden, like with Joe Biden and Donald Trump, all it was about was Joe Biden stammering and not being able to answer the questions, but none of the coverage was about the just blatant lie after lie after lie. And then with this new, like I just watched the interview with Kamala Harris and Waltz, they are grilling Waltz like, well, did you lie to the American public? Did you just misspeak about weapons of war? Did you mean that you carried weapons in war or weapons of war? Which word was it? And they're sitting there waiting with fucking bated breaths. Well, which one was it? Mr. Walls, answer the question. And if you don't answer this question correctly, this could tank your entire political career and the campaign. But meanwhile, they'll literally let Trump go on and just be like, there are over 500,000 people in a building that had 10,000 people. I don't know how it worked, but it just logistically, for me, it worked. Because I'm Donald Trump. I always tell the truth. And you'll never call me on it. Ugh. Well, I didn't really want to cover it, but kind of didn't want to be disingenuous and not. And also, I'm not, as I said, I'm not happy with MSNBC and what they did. I think that it was a total bonehead move. I do think that somebody totally got fired over this. But during an election season, this was a very bad look. But let's be real. I'm pretty sure that the Joe Rogan guys weren't watching MSNBC to begin with. So I don't think they have to worry about, losing ratings. Well, anyway, you know what to do. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000. So let's keep pushing. All right. I'll see you in the next one.